Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12. In the local scene, the Albay Provincial Health Office conducted mental health and psychosocial support services activity for 132 children at the San Jose Elementary School Evacuation Center in Malilipot amid ongoing Mayon volcano disturbance. The activity formed part of the provincial government's continuing humanitarian response to address the non-physical impacts of displacement caused by volcanic unrest. Health workers focused on helping children manage stress, anxiety, and emotional distress resulting from prolonged evacuation. Albay Provincial Health Office PHO facilitated child-friendly interventions including art therapy and interactive games to create a safe and supportive environment for emotional recovery. Children actively participated in drawing, coloring, and play-based activities aimed at strengthening resilience and restoring a sense of normalcy. The office also distributed coloring and sticker books, crayons, and snacks to help make the evacuation setting more comforting for young evacuees. Acting Provincial Health Officer Dr. Stella Bisanit said mental health care, particularly for children, is a critical component of disaster response. She added that Albay PHO remains committed to providing both physical health services and sustained mental and emotional support to communities affected by the Mayon situation. In a related story, the Provincial Health Office conducted a rapid health assessment in several evacuation centers across Albay to address the health needs of communities displaced by the current alert status of Mayon volcano. The activity aimed to assess evacuation center conditions and identify immediate health concerns and essential needs of evacuees from affected barangays. Health teams evaluated sanitation and hygiene facilities, access to clean water, availability of medical services, and the overall health status of displaced families. The assessment covered San Jose Elementary School and San Jose National High School in Malilipot, which are sheltering residents from barangays Calbayog and San Roque. In Tabaco City, assessments were conducted at Marirok Evacuation Center for evacuees from Sitio Nagsipit in Barangay Marirok and at San Antonio Buhian and Buwang Evacuation Centers serving residents from Barangays Uson, Buhian, and parts of Barangay Buwang. Albay Acting Provincial Health Officer Dr. Stella Bisanit said the assessment results will guide the deployment of medical consultations, disease prevention measures, and other essential health services. The provincial government of Albay said it continues to monitor the situation and coordinate with concerned agencies to strengthen health and emergency response efforts for affected communities. In other news, vaccination of dogs and cats was conducted at Buwang Elementary School Evacuation Center in Tabaco City on January 19, 2026 to ensure the health and safety of both evacuees and pets. The activity was carried out by the Tabaco City Veterinary Office as part of the prevention measures to reduce the risk of animal-related diseases in evacuation sites. The vaccination covered pets that were brought by families who temporarily relocated due to the continuing threat of Mayon volcano. According to Albay Police Provincial Office, Provincial Director Police Colonel Noel Donato Nunez, protecting animals also helps safeguard people in crowded evacuation facilities. Police Colonel Nunez encouraged personnel assigned at each evacuation center to coordinate similar activities to promote shared care for evacuees and pets. In the national scene, Executive Secretary Ralph Recto and local government leaders met to discuss the timely and transparent use of the 2026 national budget. In a press release issued Wednesday, Recto said the January 15 meeting followed President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s directive to make local government units active partners in managing public funds. The discussion focused on aligning national government priorities with community needs and ensuring funds are spent on projects that deliver clear and measurable public benefits. Under the proposed 2026 General Appropriations Act, 1.4 trillion pesos is allocated to provinces, cities, municipalities, and barangays, while the local government support fund was increased to 57.87 billion from 15.8 billion pesos in 2025. Present at the meeting were leaders of major local government leagues, including Governor Dakila Carlocua, Governor Reynaldo Tamayo Jr., Mayor Francis Zamora, Mayor Faustino D. V., and Liga ng mga Barangay National President Maria Katrina Jessica D. Also in attendance were House Majority Leader Ferdinand Alexander Sandro Marcos, Budget Acting Secretary Rolando Toledo, and Assistant Secretaries Ryan Lita and Angel Magdalas. In other story, the Philippine National Police said Wednesday it expects more than 17,400 body-worn cameras to be delivered by the first week of May to help document police operations and promote accountability. During a Senate hearing, Police Brigadier General Engelbert Soriano said the cameras have live streaming features and are part of a plan to acquire 90,000 units by 2028, each costing 32,000 pesos. The initial purchase is worth 872 million pesos and includes desktop computers and a storage system needed to manage and save video recordings. Senate Committee Chair J.V. Ejercito said body-worn cameras protect both suspects and police officers by safeguarding rights, preserving dignity, and providing reliable evidence. Senator Rafi Tulfo and several government agencies expressed support for the proposed legislation mandating body-worn cameras, citing complaints of improper arrests and the need for greater transparency in law enforcement. In other news, Senate Blue Ribbon Committee Chair Senator Panfilo Lacson raised concerns over the minority report submitted by Senators Amy Marcos and Rodante Marcoleta, saying it did not follow the established process for proposing amendments. In a statement, Lacson said the document reflected lack of respect for the Blue Ribbon Committee and the Senate as a whole. He said he did not read the report, adding that it was difficult for him to consider a document that, in his view, did not observe committee procedures. Lacson also commented on the minority bloc's criticism of the committee hearings, saying members of the minority could participate directly by attending and raising their questions during the proceedings. He noted that several members of the minority bloc are experienced lawmakers who are familiar with the proper process for submitting amendments to committee reports. Senate President Vicente Soto III also spoke on the issue, saying the minority report appeared to be intended for public discussion, with the bloc including Senators Marcos, Marcoleta, Jingoy Estrada, Bungo, Robin Padilla, Ronald Bato de la Rosa, Joel Villanueva, Francis Chis Escudero, and Alan Peter Cayetano. And in the news outside the country, President Donald Trump said Tuesday that Iran would be destroyed if it ever succeeded in assassinating him, repeating a warning he has made before. His comments followed sharp exchanges between Washington and Tehran after an Iranian general warned of severe retaliation if Iran's leaders were targeted. Trump said he had given clear orders for total retaliation, while Iranian officials said they would ignite the region if their supreme leader were attacked. The escalating rhetoric comes as Iran struggles with major internal unrest, with human rights groups reporting thousands killed in protests over economic and political conditions. Members of Iran's global diaspora, including Nobel Peace Prize winner Shirin Ebadi, have called on the United States to take targeted actions against Iran's top leadership. In other story, Israeli bulldozers began demolishing the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees compound in East Jerusalem on Tuesday in what UN officials called an unprecedented attack. Agency spokespeople said Israeli forces stormed the site early in the morning, removed security guards, and started tearing down buildings, calling the move a violation of international law. Israeli authorities said the compound belongs to Israel and does not have UN immunity, while UN officials insisted it remains UN property and is legally protected. Demolitions come after Israel accused the agency of ties to Hamas, though international investigations found no conclusive proof of the claims. Jordan and UN officials condemned the move, warning it could threaten other international organizations, while Israel defended the action as part of its governance of East Jerusalem. And finally, in the news outside the country with reference to the Philippines, the Philippine Embassy in Denmark advised Filipinos to remain vigilant amid concerns over a potentially U.S. takeover of Greenland. The embassy said there is no cause for alarm at this time and that it is monitoring the situation closely with other officials. Filipinos in Greenland were urged to stay calm, be aware of their surroundings, and rely only on official sources of information. The embassy provided contact details for assistance, including email, phone, and social media platforms. The alert follows weeks of protest in Greenland after U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to take control of the island and impose import taxes on opposing European countries. And that's all for the news at 12, January 22, 2026. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. And thanks to our news writer, LJ Lureo and Naomi Ruth Hernandez. And on the technical side, Ted Bobis. And our Provincial Information Officer, OIZ Marty Gonzalez. And under the supervision of our Governor, Noel Urusal, I am Greg Hallare. Thank you for subscribing. Albay in my heart.